So, A Storm of Swords. This is my 200-page update, and I wanted to go a little more in depth on my YouTube channel than I am on my other platforms. I feel like I think this might be my favorite book. I'm not dead sure because I haven't finished the series, but A Storm of Swords is quite moving, quite powerful. You have a lot going on in this book. We have seen Daenerys get the Unsullied. We have seen Joffrey. We have also seen Sansa be married to Tyrion. We have seen Marjorie be married to Renly, him. And then we have seen Marjorie married to Joffrey and him. Bye-bye. We have seen two wars. We have seen Robb Stark die. We have seen Catelyn Stark die. We have seen so many good people pass away. But I am going to do my 200-page segment with my handy dandy notebook, because if I don't write down my thoughts when I have them, they don't get in my videos. And I'm trying to make these videos longer so that there is more engagement to be had. So first and foremost, I want to talk about the Red Wedding. I feel like Walder Frey is a jerk. Like, Walder Frey acts like he's this noble guy, but you're really not. When a 17-year-old kid decides to marry somebody else, I don't think cutting off his head and sewing it onto his direwolf's head onto his body and parading him through is the best course of action. Personally, I think that he is selfish, and yes, you have all of these children, then quit having them. You have no right to take anybody's life over something that really was already taken care of because you got Edmure married to one of your daughters. There's nothing wrong there. And it was gruesome to read, and I'm not looking forward to watching in the show. I'm not that far into the show yet, so hopefully it's soon. I would love to do a compare and contrast video on that. Catelyn, keeping on theme with Catelyn Stark, her being cut to the bone from ear to ear and thrown naked into the river because of it being a Tully tradition was just spitting on her grave, so to speak. She did not deserve that. She's a mother trying her best to defend her children. She has lost everybody. Her last thoughts were, how have I lost everybody? Everybody's gone. Ned, ease this pain. And it is so heartbreaking to me that she died not knowing that Bran and Rickon were still alive and that Arya was still alive. But also, Catelyn does have her flaws. Like when her and Jon Snow were talking about who should inherit Winterfell in the North, because he doesn't know if Jane is pregnant yet. And if anything were to happen to him in battle, and his first thought was Jon Snow. And she hated that idea. She told him all the what ifs. What if he has a boatload of kids and decides to kill you off because he wants his kids to inherit? Well, that could be a possibility, but Jon Snow, in everything we've seen, treats them like family. They're his family. He's grown up with them. They're his brothers and sisters. He constantly talks about missing Arya. It's funny to me that Catelyn still at this late date cannot see that. And then she has the audacity to compare Jon Snow to Theon, when in all actuality that was very unjust, because he hasn't done anything to show he could even do what Theon did. Like, the first thought he had before leaving for the Wall was to say goodbye to Bran. And I think that was especially cruel to say, given that she's lost all her children and Jon could be another son to her. I also want to talk about Jaime. Jaime, in these 200 pages I have read, has been instrumental. He has saved Brienne from being assaulted. He has lost his hand, his sword hand. He doesn't want to go on living because he doesn't think that he's worth anything now because his sword hand is gone. And it's so telling that he's been put in this role where he is only good for one thing. He's good for killing. He's good to be what they think he needs to be for the purpose of his dad or Aerys Targaryen or his sister. Like, he doesn't know who or what to do outside of making everybody else happy. And I think that's a sad thing that he is that way. because his life could be so much better and different if he realized he was more than just a sword hand. Him dreaming of Brienne was quite funny. To see him wake up and think, I have to go back and get her. And the bear, oh my god, the bear attack was amazing to read, because he jumps in there and he realizes that she was doomed. Like, they gave her a lance with no point on it. There was no way she was going to win against a bear. And they get in there and they get it done for her. It was very, very pivotal to see him become more, and her realizing that, wow, he has a conscience, a heart, you know. Sticking with the Lannister theme, Tyrion, he doesn't know what to do with Sansa. He doesn't touch her against her will. He never provokes her into anything. He never tries anything with her. In all actuality, he feels for her. And out of everybody at the King's Landing, he probably can relate to her the best. She has no one that loves her there. He really doesn't have anybody that loves him. They're alone in this den of vipers and don't really have an option on escaping. All his love for Shae can't be real because his dad and Cersei want to kill her. And he tells Sansa about her brother passing, and he shuts the door wondering what he could do, and that's when she starts sobbing. She only can break down when nobody else is around. She has to be strong. She has to stay true. She can't break while anybody's watching, because then they'll think of her as weak. They already call her stupid all the time. Why should she be weak and stupid? Which I can agree with. I understand that thought process. And then, in turn, as much as Tyrion wants to help Sansa, Sansa feels like a Lannister now. She's been groomed and primped and prodded and taught exactly what to say, what to do. She is a Lannister in her mind, which is so sad, because she wants to go home. She doesn't want to be a Lannister. She doesn't want to be this fake manipulative person. And I think Sansa and Dany, in a way, to me, are very, very similar. Sansa grew up in this pampered, posh lifestyle, and now she's low man on the totem pole. She just has to do and say whatever anybody thinks. And there goes Dany, who's had the opposite effect. She has been the beggar queen. Her and Viserys have traveled all over the world to escape Robert and his sellswords. She has had nothing, and now she's finally coming into her own, and she's got her dragon. She's learning to be powerful, and it's like their roles have switched. To me, it's quite funny, because the symbolism there between I'm the beggar queen turned 3-time dragon owner with a 8,000 person army for Dany, to Sansa, who was Princess of Winterfell. I have all these things. Daddy takes care of me too. Dad's gone. Sister's gone. As far as you know, Bran and Rickon are gone. Like, you're all alone in this world. And she doesn't even think about Jon. In one part, she's talking about, I'm all alone. She's like, Rickon, Bran, Robb. Rickon, Bran, Robb, and Arya. And she doesn't even consider her half-brother, as far as she knows, Jon Snow. So to me, that was quite funny in the symbolism. And then you also have Daenerys Targaryen learning that Jorah was selling her out. She was not safe. All her secrets were being told to everybody, and she lost her child essentially for that, because she was always in danger. She was always on the run, and she was so scared of losing everything that she trusted the witch to save Drogo. And I'm not necessarily sure that if she hadn't had all those instances of her nearly dying, if she would have done that. I know she loved Drogo, and I think that she didn't want him to pass away, but I don't think she would have listened to the witch quite as strongly, in my opinion, if she hadn't always been afraid and on the run. I think that was a strong motivation to her. And to learn that your closest confidant, the guy who's been with you since day one, sold you out for nothing. He was going to get a pardon, and she doesn't understand that. She's never had a home. She doesn't understand that logic. It's sad, but so accurate to me. that that's what she was going to do. And also the fact that Dani wants another person in her life. Dani wants somebody in her life to love. She has realized that her and Drogo were in love, but she also realizes that that want is still there. And she's even toyed with the idea of children, but doesn't believe that she can have them. I would like to see her actually have a baby. I don't think that's possible. I don't think we're going to see that based off what I've seen and read. But I do think it's interesting that she knows that she is the mother of dragons. I feel like overall these 200 pages were a lot. There was like a lot cram-packed into them. I deeply enjoyed reading them. I think that the series is amazing. I myself like to write, and I hope that my writing is a tenth as good as George R.R. Martin. I personally love every aspect. There's not much I would ever change. I think it's brutal and cruel, and this world is not for the faint of heart. It just goes to show that life is not sunshine and roses. And we see a lot in fiction where everybody goes through hard times, but they always come out on top. And in this, no one's winning. Like, the Game of Thrones never has a true winner.